Well, two words for you, Dave, here on Sunday. Gary Capuano. What a role the barn has been on. 2 stakes last weekend and hit the stake this weekend.
Happy for Gary. Barnes on a roll. He got some really good horses. He takes his time with horses.
Yes.
But I'm very happy to see Copper Tax
Yes.
rebound yesterday in the private term stakes. I'll tell you, Ted, way back when he won that sprint here at Laurel Park, he overcame a lot of adversities. Had a lot of trouble since then, some issues. That ship down to Tampa didn't exactly go as planned. Sam Davis, but comes back to win the private terms yesterday.
So looking forward to see the team there just kind of build off of that success that we've had so far to wrap things up for winter. And just wanted to highlight that Rosecroft does have a nice carryover. They're going to be back for race on Tuesday, March 26th, $27,582, Dave. Of course,
Tuesday action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Middle of the week.
Yeah.
Stab for the jackpot.
Yes. Get you a little bit warmed up for next weekend's racing. Remember, we will only be racing Friday and Saturday next weekend. And today, it's looking like a proper winter to spring day. Take a look at that. That actually looks pretty nice.
Yeah, a little deceptive when you look at the grass, right? Getting green there, but it was pretty chilly this morning.
Yes, it is.
The temps are going to be warming up this afternoon. Sunshine will take that, and look at the great condition the track is in, considering all that rain we had overnight and then into yesterday morning. Stopped early afternoon, but see a slop yesterday, but again, complete opposite today. Fast track. Plenty of sunshine.
Yes, and let's go. Let's get right into this 10 race card that we have going on. A maiden claiming 45 starts this early pick 5 and going 5.5 on the dirt for the 4 and 5-year-olds. No scratches here. You go with the number 6 and Bold Talk on the outside for Diane Marizzi. Jamie Rodriguez takes the call back.
Yeah, I like this horse. Last time he ran back in November. They added the blinkers to him. Neuschwanstein, the winner of the race, runs a pretty good time. The runner-up came back to win. 2 other horses have come out of that race to win. Hopped at the start, and even with the blinkers, had a little bit of high-headed action. But they give this horse time away. He's come out with good works and attracts Jamie Rodriguez. I think there's a story here. I'm going to go back to him today, Bold Talk. I might know after an opening 1/8 of a mile if he's going to do anything or not. See if he carries his head a little bit better, though, with those blinkers and the layoff, and Jamie Rodriguez aboard. And that's a hot combination. Diane Maurice, Jamie Rodriguez, 4 for 24 together, and a 269 positive ROI. I'm going to go with Bold Talking here, though there's a couple of other runners that should attract some attention. I think number 1, Radar Alert, had a good trip not the best of trips last time out at Charlestown, hoping for a better trip today. He advanced down the backstretch, used lots of energy, and then galloped out strongly, galloped out clear over the winner, long leg. So I think he wants to go a little bit longer, 4.5 to 5.5. Son of Imagining. Thought it was an excellent debut runner. Second start, shipping down for Ronco and Andres Chavez, apprentice aboard. The 2J, getting that early money, you see at 3 to 5, those very early. The Brittany Russell barn, hoping to break a streak with a Saturday over, but they last one on St. Patrick's Day. A little bad luck for the Brittany Russell barn yesterday. This is a horse who's by Run Happy out of I'm Always Hopeful. A little more turf lean to him. Half to a horse named Nakamura. So it'll be interesting to see if he can win first out sprinting.
Right. So that's going to be a little bit of the trick there. But with some of the works that we see, I see, here's the thing too, Dave, is that we see that sloppy work, surface work, 2 back on March 5th. Even though the track is fast, I'm not saying it's holding any moisture from yesterday, but still there's always just a little bit of aftermath when you have such a sloppy sealed day like we did yesterday.
Yeah, so a little moisture in there, though. It's fast for sure.
Right.
I got away from him just because I think he might have a little bit of a turf lean to him.
This is one where you're going to have to look in the paddock this morning.
Yep. The 4-hole in another first-time starter, just like Jay, but he's by Great Notion, 16% with 3 and up first-time starters above average. Kenny Cox barn, you usually want to see one from the barn, but this horse has been working well too. Hole in the wee for now or never stable. So a couple of firsters to pick from. Horse from Charlestown, a horse off a layoff, adding the second-time blinkers with leading rider Jamie Rodriguez. I'm going to go that way, Bold Talk. You went to the Charlestown horse, and I can see why. I mean, almost could have flip-flopped those two. I mean, the 6 and the 1 in the opener. Going to use both in the double plays.
There we have it. 6124 for Dave Rodman there in race number 1. Let's go ahead to race number 2. Dave, that starts your early pick ticket. You fill in the spot for Keith Fusel. Thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah, well, he usually gets the pick 4. I know you're going to concentrate on that pick 6 today with a nice carryover.
Yep.
What we got here in a carryover, the pick 6, $11,063. But maybe this give you a little bit of boost to start the day. You 2 deep by 3 by 3 by 3 using the 1 and the 5 energy efficient and hurrying home in the second. The third race a little bit deeper with the blinkers going on. McMahon, we'll talk about that horse a little bit later. Also, Patinga's Twin has got some good early foot, and a 7 Sail on Home, a first-time starter. And interesting, is he turf or is he dirt? We'll see. And in the fourth race, going to use the 1, 4, and 5 Baby Socks. Comes back with a short rest there with Black Ice, Nest Barn 7-5 morning line favorite, and Synergy's Electra. Will have some video of that horse later. And in the fifth race, a little deeper going a mile here. I like Dust Devil in there as the top pick. That was my top pick, but Disputed Notion and also Fortune's Fool have some positives about them for the mile distance as well on the dirt. So $27 ticket.
A nice pack ticket, just a hefty ticket here for that early pick 4. I like that, Dave, just to really give some, it was just some solid selections, and just, I like that you go 3 deep. We don't have a single. I'm okay with that for an early pick 4, and it does start in this claiming 20,000 for the 4-year-old and up, which have never won 2. Scratch in the 6 Sea Ghost. This is a 1-turn mile for the 4-year-olds and up, so Dave, you land on the number 5, Hurrying Home. This is in the barn of Kieran McGee, Tori Alba, first in the barn for the pair.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of a galloping, easy winner last time out, kind of a breeze. It was a short field. He only beat 3 others, but he wasn't really used a lot on the drop. Claimed jumps a little bit here. He's got a nice sizable look to him when you look at the video. He's a big, stout Uncle Mo colt, and just kind of bounced home there with a 70 buyer number. Off the claim. Well, they tried him on the turf. They tried him on the synthetic, but certainly looks like a dirt horse. And first off the claim from McGee Good Stat, as we know, has come back with a couple of works since the claim on February the 9th. So I think he's even a little more fit this time around. Number 1, Energy Efficient. Your top pick's going to be our video. The Ham Smith Barn. How hot are they, Collie? I mean, last 30 days, 5 for 18, 28%. $2.99 ROI, a penny shy of a $3 ROI. How can you leave Hammy Smith off the ticket?
Not at all. You can. You certainly can. 6 for 25, third off of the layoff. And what I love is that this one, was kind of forced into that issue mid-race and just kind of had to deal with giving as much as he could. Of course, assume nothing. That horse is just a bit on a roll to begin with anyways, but held off and defended that second finish. And then kind of almost got a little bit of a half of second win a couple of strides before that wire.
Yeah, he's hoping for a little better pace today. There wasn't a lot of pace in this last race. The winner assumed nothing.
Exactly.
Was a 3-2 favorite who took only token pressure from the outside. Energy Efficient, tracked well in hand, was within range, but it was a decent effort, I thought, without a setup. That's the 72 buyer number.
Exactly.
Certainly a couple of points better than Hurrying Home's number. But Hurrying Home, just maybe a couple of lengths between them. We'll see. Trip maybe today. A little better pace for Energy Efficient. Could do the trick. That's why I'm just using those two in the early pick 4.
Sure, I do like that. 5-1-7-8 for Dave in race number 2. Race number 3 is a maiden special weight, going at 5.5 on the dirt for these 3-year-olds. You go with the number 1 on the rail, Mr. McMahon. Blinkers on now for Brittany and Sheldon Russell on the rail.
Yeah, it was a very sloppy track that day for the debut. He was favored. He was beaten. Patinga's Twin beat him, but he's a nice long-bodied horse. And when he looks on the track, when I saw him out there, and adding the blinkers today, I think will just get him his concentration going a little bit. He was a beat slow from the gate, taken outside in the stretch run, tried to run for a little burst there, and they just kind of lingered. He needs a better start. Adding the blinkers today, left lead you see, in the comment. So maybe this will put his act together. Concentration, better start, I think, is going to be the key here, because Patinga's twin, as you can see, has a good amount of early foot. He's been up there on some good track. He, too, gets blinkers on. Both of them getting blinkers on today. Out of that fast Quince Brew race on the sloppy track here, March the 2nd. And the 7 Sail on Home's a first-time starter. Midshipman, 13% first-time starters, 3 and up. 17% winners, dirt sprints for Midshipman. But the damn Rhythm and Rap says turf. That horse was a turf winner. I remember calling that horse a spring 5.5, I believe, on the turf here at Laurel Park. You can't forget a name like Rhythm and Rap, right? I think I did a little...
especially with your background, absolutely.
Yeah, a little hip-hop in there.
That, I have no doubt.
So, Sail on Home, debut runner there for trainer Elizabeth Merriman. Just going to throw that runner in as well. So 1, 6, and 7. Blinkers on both, Patinga's twin and Mr. McMahon. But Mr. McMahon, I thought, had some looks on the track last time out. Yeah.
Liked what he saw there in his top selection as he goes 1, 6, 7, 5 in race number 3 in that maiden special weight. Race number 4 is claiming 20,000, going 7 furlongs on the dirt. No scratches here. You go with the number 5, Synergies Electra. Let's go ahead and take a roll back to that last win, last effort out.
Well, yeah, and picking the video out, I knew it was going to rain Saturday, right? And so maybe the track will still be a little off on Sunday. No, he may not get this kind of sloppy track today, but this is a good non-winners at 2 effort, and a race that ran a little bit faster than par for the level in my numbers. And there's Synergies Electa, highlighted in the blue, splashing home, maybe a little better part of the track that day, but had a mind on business, was a favorite that day, and steps up off the claim for trainer Elliott Sullivan, kind of a new face in town, but 5 starters and 1 win, and generally a decent guy when he claims a horse, doesn't claim too many and spots them just right. Today, not the sloppy track, but the numbers do the trick, I think, for Synergies Electra. Will she be able to get kind of that setup right from right off the pace? I don't know. Baby Sox comes back after showing early speed just 7 days ago for trainer Andres Garibay. I know Keith Fustel liked this horse last time out. That was last week. My 17 coming back quickly, but with a week or less back layoff, Callie. Andres Garibay is 2 for 10 with Dr. Grant and Bowie two-step, a couple of runners you might remember ran here in Maryland, hitting the winner's circle with a short rest, a week less off.
Okay, there we have it. You go with the 4 and the 3 as well. Black Ice, lovely Liza to wrap up your picks here for race number 4. Yeah,
Black Ice second off the claim for Jamie Ness. Again, good number on a sloppy track. Going a mile, shortening back up 7/8 of a mile, maybe a little tighter this time. Number didn't improve drastically from some of her best races with a 62 buyer, but shortening up and a fast track today could improve her a couple of notches here. And, you know, it's hard to leave off the Ness Rodriguez combination. In a filly like this, it looks like she may be taking a step in the right direction. I had her way back on the watch list from New Year's Eve last year. I got a note here from December 31st. Wide in the stretch, willing horse to watch. You know, then ran 7th, then ran 6th, then goes to the Nest Barn, jumps up a little, now was a 3, in tag, and then runs okay. So I think she's got some talent here, Black Ice, but the price is something else, right? A little something you may want to search for a better price. That's why I go Synergies Electra.
Okay, fair enough. 5, 1, 4, 3 for race number 4 for Dave Rodman. Race number 5 starts that Rainbow Pick 6. Of course, as Dave, you mentioned, we have that $11,000 carryout. Go to my ticket. I do find a single in race number 9 on the number 3. That's gonna be going to the lead. I'm just personally a huge fan of this horse. Just missed out last time. This horse will go in waves of kind of needing to be up front, where then this horse will go from, oh, hey, we're going to be in the era of coming from off the pace. That worked for a couple of horses yesterday, so I think it might potentially work even better on today's track. But I'll dive into this just a touch more, but you can also go to laurelpark.com and revisit this ticket again. for a $21.60 ticket for this Rainbow Pick 6. A starter optional 12.5. It begins that first leg going a one-turn mile. No scratches here. Let's talk Dust Devil, your top selection. Dave, let's go to that also last effort back, which was a win over at Penn National for J-Rod and Jamie Ness.
Yeah, horses had a couple of seconds here at Laurel Park. I just showed you this race because it's his last race, and it was a win, getting up to win by 3/4 of a length. But wow, that race back in early January at Parks not only would do, but more than do in this spot. Horse tries all the time. Has hit the board all but one time, a couple times, two wins and a third since moving to the Nest barn here. Just think that the mile distance is going to be just right for him. And again, maybe looking at his first win here at Laurel Park, but if he runs that race back January 2nd, I think it's a daylight score. But again, you're not getting much of a price in there. How about a little better price in there? Number 1, Disputed Notion. We've used this on the final leg of the pick 4, hoping for a price. One last time out here at Laurel, going the mile. Now winners of 3 for 8. And had a big, sustained, confident run on the turn that day. I said, wait a second. Maybe this horse is just a mile specialist. Some of these horses get to that one-turn mile at Laurel Park and just flourish with it, right? He's 8 years old, and that was just a now winners of 3. But off his last race and off the race 3 back against no easy days, I think he's going to maintain his form and step up a little at a price this afternoon against this group. Fortune's Fool is another horse. Is kind of a grinder, right, on the dirt and on the turf. We saw him on the turf pulling a bit of an upset at 25-1 back in the fall here at Laurel Park. He's probably getting ready again for turf season to come around. The grass is green, but we're not quite there yet. Off since a muddy track disappointment, beaten 26 lengths, given time away, drops in for the 12.5 today. Freshened 7-time winner coming into this race. And he's a 7-time winner, 2 here at Laurel, 1 win on the turf. Most of his wins have come on the dirt. So the time away, the question, but Lacey with that 61 to 180-day layoff with a positive return on investment. He's retooled, and he's got some back class about him. Fortune's Fool.
Let's talk about a lot of sense really quick. Now in the barn of Deal DeVico, Caramanos, they tried him at the state bred allowance. They cut back to that one-turn mile distance, and I think that could be a little bit of the ticket for him.
Yeah, he's a good race back in November at Laurel. Placed first behind Fun Lovin' Criminal, a little bumping match late in the stretch there. If you can excuse his last race, and yeah, I can. Freightlin, I know Giordani didn't come back to win the other day, but Delisa Vita was right there. He showed up with his usual race, and he's dropping back in for the price at which he was claimed. Going to have to get a good trip from the outside there, maybe tuck in a little bit and trying to make a burst in that final quarter of a mile. That's kind of the way he likes to run a little bit, right?
Yes.
In looking at his wins here at Laurel and the times he's finished in the money, he doesn't have a lot of blazing early speed to step it up, maybe to keep up with Dust Devil early. But if he can time it right, save some ground, he's on the edge.
There we have it, 8-1-6-9 for Dave Rodman in race number 5, and we will be right back after this commercial break for the rest of Sunday's card.
And here comes Point of Entry. Point of Entry's taking the lead. Point of Entry wins.
Plaku Parfait is finishing hard along the inside. Plaku Parfait takes out the Derby.
Welcome back, of course, to that Jackpot Super High 5 race. We have a carryover. We'll be well at 8,000 or more by the time we get to race number 6 in this maiden claiming 12.5. Also starts the late pick 5 as well, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for these 3-year-old fillies. Scratches in the 1, 6, 9, 10, and 15. So we have a couple of AEs that draw in, and Dave, you choose one of them, and surely not for Robert Medina. Angel Cruz gets the call coming over here from Turfway Park.
Surely you just. No, it's surely not. It's by Great Notion out of Catbird. Interesting. I'll look that up. This horse is a half to a 3-time Laurel winner named Bay of Cats on the dirt. Never tried the dirt. Comes in from Turfway Park for trainer Bobby Medina, former assistant to Shug McGahee. And big numbers for synthetic to dirt for the trainer. 3 for 15, 20% positive ROI, 329. Maiden claiming dirt winners, also a positive ROI for trainer Bobby Medina, shipping in from a training center in Kentucky. Maybe just didn't like the Tapeta surface there. I thought ran okay, considering last time out the 1-2 finishers in there were first-time starters, Italian Ivy and Do You Realize, and they just kind of ran away from the field in the final eighth. Shirley Knott was in position, and those leaders just got away. Got some pedigree to like the dirt. Trainer shipping in all the way. Angel Cruz, by the way, rides as Forest Boys will stick.
Right.
With Champagne Dance, number 11, you got in the money here.
And
yeah,
it makes a good decision. I like the decision of her staying on Champagne Dance. I think we're going to be getting it's a friendlier competent pool here, and I think I've loved the rides that Forrest has given on this individual. So I just think it's a perfect matchup.
She drops, right, and down in class, so to speak, when you're looking at claiming level. Shirley Knott's run once for maiden 30, then 15, now 12.5. But yeah, I mean, Champagne Dance is the best number. Look at the race. Look at a race 2 back. She ran with Stick with the Colors. Maybe a little bit overmatched there. Drops in for 12.5 today. Stick with the Colors. Big run yesterday.
Yes.
They got beat just in the final strides. Did a lot of dirty work. And ran well yesterday. So you got to look at Champagne Dance in there. I got her in the mix. You go with a 4 here with a Resume. Brittany Russell has 2 in here. One that draws in TC Nay and one toward the inside. Resume on top.
Yeah, I think this one has, the last time we saw this one on a fast track was back in January. Things are a bit different now. This horse has been in Brittany's barn for long enough. So, and on top of that, we get back to fast track with this one. So I'm just go ahead and giving this one a stab. I always, and especially coming out of this certain barn to Brittany's, it tends to do pretty well. So that's just, it all depends what kind of, if my top selection is worth it, depending on what kind of price we get at that race. If you can try and keep that 8-1, then yes, complete value.
I think the money's going to be all over the board here because a lot of class droppers, right? Including Concrete Phase, the 2 horse in here, Super 99 filly, kind of a little bitty filly, but ran well. 2 back behind My Sugar Boo. Was a bit fractious there, January 12th, coming over to the paddock and the walk to the paddock. Maybe lost a little bit of her edge there, but I thought she ran okay, finishing 4th, beaten 4 lengths in that race. With a 38 buyer figure that stacks up and drops in here, I mean, where else can we go? Oh,
there's a lot of
the horse I liked last week, Chaveta, right?
Yes,
yeah, right?
I mean,
it comes back short rest. I thought would close into the pace that day and kick on at a price. She was 7-1 and just kind of it was on the rail and didn't do a lot, but you know, she's got a couple of races on her form, debut run in the race 3 back that would put her right there. Maybe she will like the 7/8 of a mile, maybe not rush her enough and just kind of let her settle and go get them late and kind of grind out. I mean, there's a lot of ways to go.
Look at that first start on Chaveta. 8 furlongs, you know, now you have a more seasoned filly approaching that kind of shoot to wire, you know, back shoot to wire situation. I think she's going to eat it up. Absolutely, Dave. Well spotted. So 14, 12 to 11, we could dive in and make an argument for a lot of different horses.
That's a spread
in this
race.
field.
I think it's a spread race in race 6.
Proper jackpot, super high 5 race, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's part of the pick 6.
Exactly.
Too, right?
So let's go ahead and go right to race number 7 in that starter optional 20,000 going 6 furlongs on the dirt. No scratches here. Shiro is your top selection here in the number 6. Bruce Corvette's Angel Rodriguez. I completely understand why. I had this one in my exacta before I made a late switch.
Well, you know, Cully, I may be going against the grain here. There may be maybe too much speed in here for her, but claimed last time out into the Kravitz barn. Does okay off claims. When you look at Kravitz, off the claim with fillies and mares only, right?
Okay.
Positive ROI, 5 for 34. With a positive return on investment. This is a 16-time winner. And can he get this mare to run back to her old style, where I don't think she has to have the lead, right? She can just sit just behind them, or maybe just in that pace and
comfortably behind, yes,
and not use too much. The race that caught my eye was back Delaware in August. She beat Bound by Destiny, who was in good form at the time. back at Delaware last year.
No,
So
I mean,
this is
she's
a
got
situation where you got a mare who's won a lot of races, more than $400,000. If you can get her feeling good again here today, she'll be a square price.
She has the legitimate gate speed to make it happen. So Shiro, 8-1 morning line for Dave Rodman. The number 4 underneath is proper attire, Jerry Robb, Alexander Crispin. Of course, you have to respect the jockey trainer combination. You have to respect the filly itself, especially since she's now kind of swinging back on the upwards into things.
It was beaten by Spicy Margarita last time out. And, you know, the old proper attire would try to wing go to the front, but she sat off the pace last time out near the inside with trouble. The rail was a little bit negative that day, but wasn't beaten that far behind Spicy Margarita, who did beat her, but I thought had a little bit of a favorable start that day, was sent along early down the backstretch, but, you know, she might have a little company. 6 o'clock Sarah used to be pretty fast, too. Will proper attire flash the speed?
Right.
I don't know. Speak Your Mind's been known to zip it up there, that opening quarter of a mile at least. Don't know where Shiro's going to be placed in here, but I'm hoping just right off of it, right?
So Matitude caught my attention. In fact, I may Matitude. I don't know how I have 3-1-4. Okay. I may be making some changes. I originally had Matitude in my exacta.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
Matitude last time out showed great gate speed, but I'm telling you, Shiro turned it up. Has been consistently turning it up out of the gate. So 6 o'clock Sarah, if she brings the speed that she did last time out, coming right out of the gates, then she poses a threat. She needs to be bringing that performance. Otherwise, it's out of the gate, that first 16th, it's Shiro's call.
If you like Shiro, you got him like Moonsafe a little bit at a price.
Yes.
The 2 in here, right? She was
Yes.
beaten only a nose by Shiro.
Another one who I had
on
on my
February 1st, but she's a closer. She'll benefit from a good pace up front as well. It's going to be a scramble in here. The stats swayed me a little bit here. On Shiro.
No, listen, Moonsafe was another one I had on my original selection, so I completely see where you're coming from. Again, this is also a spread race in here in race number 7, 6, 4, 2, 3. And let's go ahead to race number 8 in the starter optional 30,006 furlongs on the dirt. For them 4 and 5-year-old girls, we all have Lady Zeta on top. Let's go ahead and take a look-see from that effort 2 back for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah, well, if there was a horse I think might be a single today. I know you singled a horse in the 9th. Maybe Lady Zeta, count on Ness, count on Rodriguez. 2 back was in the heated pace battle up front, eventually finishing second behind a horse who's on a streak at a roll at the time, anonymously. After that race, went to Parks, February 28th, finished 3rd, beaten 10 lengths, but 7 of the 10 lengths beaten accounted for by Center Court Champ, who came back to win at a little better class level, in my opinion, than that race on February 28th. So all signs pointing Lady Zeta back in the winner's circle today. There's anonymously, I mean, right? And she was super sharp. What did she win, like 4 out of 5 or 4? I should have looked it up.
We had her on an earlier replay winning. Yes. So no, it's just this is a filly who just kind of time and time again, whether she gets the trip she wants to or not, she's always going to be showing up. So yes, if you want to switch from my single to Lady Zeta for your single for the Rainbow Pick 6, Dave, I think you're right in that statement. Talking about the number 5 to the inside, you give a value underneath and Bound by Destiny for Tom McMahon. Andrea Chavez gets the call here, first in the barn.
That's the filly I was talking about in relation to Shiro, right? Shiro, Bound by Destiny faced each other. First off the claim for McMahon, not a huge percentage in the winner's circle, but 5 out of 11 in the money.
Okay.
First off the claim. And route to sprint, going a mile to the 16th. Last time out, claim, back sprinting. McMahon's got a positive return on investment. And here's the filly that was on a roll, might be a horse for a course at Delaware. I'm going to watch this filly, even if she doesn't win today. I've got her on Stable Mail. I'll play her back at Delaware because she likes that track. A little sign of life behind Click to Confirm last time out. You see Keith the Bill short comment last time out, February 25th. Willing. Always like that comment. Anytime you see that, you see a horse coming into the race in good form. So good in the money percentage for McMahon. Route to sprint. She's run some tough sprints in her past, though not at this track. Andres Chavez getting the mount there for Bound by Destiny.
6-5, 1-2 for Dave Rodman in race number 8. Race number 9 is an allowance optional 40,000, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. 8, Dave, you have the number 8 on top. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stat that you pulled up on Holy Synchronicity. Rudy Sanchez, Salmon, Yomar Ortiz.
I think this is in for $40,000 today. Face post time 7s, 11. Prince of Jericho.
Okay.
Last 3 starts. Magic Michael when he was sharp. 3rd off to the layoff in a 61 to 180-day layoff. 7 for 38, 18% for the barn, and a positive return on investment. I think it's a now or never day at a price for Holy Synchronicity. And this is in honor of Keith because I think he liked this horse last time
I was going to say,
right?
you two love this horse. You two love
I see
this
a lot
horse.
of Holy Synchronicity on his picks.
Listen, I love the faith. I love the faith that you guys are the number one and number 2 fan club members of Holy Synchronicity, and this is you're giving great reasons as well to why. So it makes sense.
Yeah, third off the layoff. I mean, there's no post time in here.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about Brilliant Ice, your second in command selection for Annette Eubanks, Carlos Lopez. Let's take a look at that winning effort 2 back, going a 1-turn mile at the allowance.
Yeah, this is February 2nd. I don't know if 6 is going to be a little short for Brilliant Ice today, but look at who beat him back January last year. Holy Synchronicity. The second to Holy Synchronicity. There he's in the running line again. But this race is 2 back, going that 1-turn mile. Had to grind it out to get up. 6 is a different kind of ball game for this guy. But he's a 3-time winner at Laurel, and I think he'll come running late for a share, assuming he can keep his form. Wow, that was a close photo.
That was great, yes. So, of course, this one coming back to Fast Track may get all the help that this one gets. The number 5 the judge and jury, Jamie Ness, J-Rod.
Yeah, out of that strong tenebrous race, was shuffled at the quarter pole. A little bit of a late move that day. Broke from post 3. The inside was a little bit negative that day. Then on the sloppy track last time out of town, kind of an even-paced 4th. Watched a couple of his replays. He's there, he tries, but never see him do much on the gallop out. So I kind of got away from him in this spot. And you're single in there, going to the lead.
Yep.
Talk about honest as really the day is long,
right?
I mean, especially sprinting. You look at that 1-turn mile, 10th by 17. Other than that, most of the time he shows up at 6 furlongs against good company, including Baracho way back in 23.
Oh, yes. So again, this one cutting back in distance from those efforts in November, December, just kind of getting back into the swing of things. I really like the development in the style of this one and for these past couple of races. And I think with the way things are shaking up in this race, it could set up well and find this. It's all about this guy getting comfortable, and I think he has a real shot of getting comfortable with that inside to outside move. And there we have it, 8-1-5-3 for race number 9. And our finale here for the weekend is going to be a claiming 12-5, going a 1-turn mile on the dirt for the 4-year-olds and up. You have the number 3, I Know, on top. Regina Perry, Louis Batista.
Drop it in for 12-5 today, and I think that's going to do the trick. A
Yes.
strong race January 5th at 25-1 when he received a patient ride just off the pace, rail run, and then won. And I thought he ran okay against Marilyn Moon next time out. It was kind of an even pace race. Last time out, he was ridden inside on the rail by the time they reached the far turn, but maybe with this drop he can run back to the maiden race January 5th where he beat Money Roman. Here's Hurrying Home in the running line, who's running in the opener today. So, you're not going to get much of a price on the drop. How about Prince Fire or Entrust? Coming out of a race last week, won by the 9-length winner Mine Run from the Brittany Russell barn. They both run back quickly. Of the two, Prince Fire drawing the rail this afternoon at a mile, had post 10 and had to work hard chasing the pace while 5 and 6 wide down the backstretch. I don't think he'll have to work so hard today. I think he'll maybe projecting near the lead this afternoon. Prince Fire, he could be very tough in this spot, and if I'm looking for a price in that race, that would be him, Prince Fire.
And there we have it, 3-1-5-6 for Dave Rodman there to wrap up our selections here on Today at the Races. Let's dive into that lightning round, and let's dive into those picks. Best bet in race number 2 on the number 5. You mentioned Hurrying Home, McGee, Torrealba first in the barn here today. Also ran against your top selection in the last race.
Yeah, and looking at that video, he's a big, sizable Uncle Mo colt. They paid $300,000 for him, right? I mean, I know he only beat 3 others that day. The runner-up came back and improved his buyer number a little bit. I mean, he ran a 70 buyer, which is close to the maybe more seasoned, energy efficient, who's running with maybe slightly better horses, but I think not much between them. I'm going to use Hurrying Home today as the play in race number 2.
Your value play comes in race number 7, 8-1 Shiro, the number 8 for Bruce Corvette's Angel Rodriguez. They all ship in for the ride here on a Sunday.
Yeah, a lot of speed in here. I don't know where she's going to be placed, but that stat off the claim for fillies and mares on the dirt for Kravitz. She's run against better horses in the past. Her best race would do for sure. I think he'll get a little bit of a thrill at the quarter pole, maybe running up into the pace. We'll see what happens at a nice price there, race number 7, a scramble of a race.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So you find some, I think you're going to find some value there potentially. Found not so much value but on the board, but plenty of value as far as quality in horses that we have for our stakes. Of course, determined driver in the Beyond the Wire for Forrest Boyce and Phil Schoenthal.
12.5, I think, lengths was the official margin of victory for determined driver. I mean,
she's not
with a quarter of a mile to go, you pretty much knew the race was over, right? There was all going up and down, and Forrest Boyce had never really asked her.
She's tiny, but she moves like a big horse. Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, Gary Capuano with a Copper Tax in the private term stakes for Rose Petal Stables.
Yeah, it was a wide open race on paper, right? The question was whether Speedy Nuss could get the distance, and there he is trying to get the distance. I thought Inveigled ran well. What an honest horse he is, right? He chased that pace. Copper Tax, given a great ride there by J.J. Torrealba, was inside, kind of east of the outside, and a relentless run to get up in time. He's shown and he can win going long. He can win going short on the dirt. So we'll hear more from Copper Tax.
We will, and that was Torrealba's first stakes win, so that's exciting as well. And we are going to get me offset, and we are going to have you continue to give us some more possible changes and scratches, and we'll be right back after this little pause to kick me offset.
Changes coming up.